Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My experience and expertise is in building all types of medical businesses to 7, 8, and even 9 figures. This isn't a podcast telling you you should do this. I'm just telling you how I did this, and I want you to be better. Better in your home life, better in your business life, better in your personal life. So let's get into it. As always, the beautiful Miss Amanda May. I love that necklace. Have you worn that before, or is this thing new? Or is it just
No,
like,
I think I've
it's
worn
old?
it. Yeah, I
No?
think my grandma got it for me for like my 18th birthday.
Really?
hmm
Well, that's awesome.
My grandma's like, she's got,
Oh, she's still alive, right? Yeah. She's like
91
900 years
this
old.
year.
91. Jesus,
91,
that's
still
freaking awesome.
working.
Holy crap. Oh, yeah.
Yep,
She works at the grocery store,
she
right?
does. She
That's
does.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's feisty. She
Yeah?
just got her second tattoo.
Yeah?
At
How old was she when she got her first?
90.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
well,
No, last year.
kinda.
It was like last year.
Yeah, it was last year. It wasn't
Oh,
even
I
a
think
year
you
ago.
remember you saying that.
She did it for her birthday. Like a bunch of the women in the family went and got this same like outline of a hummingbird. I guess if you want to consider that type of tattoo, because many years ago when permanent makeup first became like a big thing,
Oh, she got her eyebrows done or
her
whatever.
eyebrows, her eyeliner, and her lips. She came home like so swollen.
Oh,
And she
jeez.
had
At the same time.
time they had like it's like an actual tattoo on your face. It evolved into like a less invasive, less deep tattoo when it's done on your face. But at the time when she first got it done, it was an actual depth of a tattoo on your
Yeah.
face. So she looked like a balloon and
Yeah.
she had Vaseline all over.
Oh, my
Then
God.
when we started getting tattoos and she'd be like, "You kids," we're like, "You started this whole thing.
Yeah.
How
This
can
is
you even
literally
yell
your
at
fault.
us?" Yeah, it's because you have tattoos all over your entire face.
Yeah, she's like Mike Tyson pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, so she got her second tattoo on her leg. It's a cowboy boot with a cowboy hat. I don't
That's
know
gotta
where
be
it came
so
from.
difficult as an artist to be able to tattoo on that skin. You gotta be really good. Really good.
You have to be gentle because the skin is definitely thinner, but she's not real wrinkly. Like, she has really nice skin. So, I think that's helpful, but you do have to be careful. Even, having done permanent makeup for so many years, somebody who has thinner skin, they tend to bleed more, they swell faster. You have to be really careful about the depth. So, yeah,
So
colors.
you said you have no idea where she got this like idea for the
Yeah,
cowboy
I don't
thing?
know. I haven't talked to her. I just saw pictures. My sister sent me pictures. So I'm not sure where, like, I know the hummingbird. She
Does she
really
live in
wants.
Texas?
No, she's in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
But she got the hummingbird on her hand. Like, she's gangster. Like,
Okay, yeah,
tattoos on
yeah.
her face
On her
and on her
knuckles.
hand.
It just says hummingbird.
That would be great. I wonder if I could.
HUMGBIRD on her knuckles.
I could convince her to do that.
Yeah,
Bird
yeah,
wa-
bird watcher, like hummingbird.
Yeah,
That's what she calls her fists. It's not actually a tattoo of a hummingbird.
that's great. Yeah. So my grandma got me my necklace.
That's awesome.
But thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
hmm
All right, so what are we talking about today?
So today we're going to talk about the law of reciprocity.
Yeah, fucking karma. That's what we're talking about today.
It's going to be a good topic because it's a simple idea, but it's not one where it's easy to just paint the picture of like, this is how it works. And so we're going to dive into some of the details around that, the energy, the effort that you give. How do you know it's going to come back? When do you cut it off? It's like, what does it look like truly in our lives? Is it that you get what you give? And how does that happen? But what happens when it doesn't? And so, yeah, so let's start there. Has there been a time where you feel like you've given a lot and you haven't gotten the same amount in return?
Oh boy, every day.
Oh boy.
Every day. I think that's part of being a business owner in general is realizing that you are going to give a ton of your time, your effort, your energy, and it may never come back at all. And that could be the what if. People always think, well, what if I do all this and what if it never comes back? There's a good chance that it will not. There's a very good chance that it won't. So there have been opportunities or times, yeah, where I've given my time, I've given my effort. Brent and I have given our time and effort and tried to help a person grow and grow and grow, and they just end up leaving. Um, and it hurts, but it shouldn't stop you from doing what you want to do. It shouldn't all of a sudden make you into an asshole or make you cynical. Now, business will make you cynical just by running businesses. They will make you cynical. God knows that. And even work might make you cynical as well every once in a while. And I think that's something that the younger generation doesn't understand is that they go on social media and they think that everything should be perfect all the time. Your life should be perfect, your relationship should be perfect. Uh, if he could do it, he would, sort of things in relationships, or your boss is an asshole, or we even have the Reddit l thing, what is it called? AITA, Am I the Asshole? And people posts all different sorts of fucked up situations, and then they're like, "Am I the asshole in this situation?" And then everybody, like, kinda argues in the, comments section about it, but it's always that these kids don't realize that this isn't fun probably 80% of the time. This is not, like, fun. We do it because we have to and there's no other choice, and we see the opportunities, and it's just what we want to do. But when it comes to being, like, the fun thing to do to be an entrepreneur, it's not fun. It's really not. It's a lot of work, a lot of hours, you miss a lot of things, and it's a lot of heartache, but it's extremely, extremely rewarding. But every day I don't wake up thinking, "Yes, this is gonna be a great day." Most of the time I wake up thinking, "Okay, what's gonna go wrong today, and what do I have to fix?" And that's not negative because my employees all suck or my business partners suck or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. They're all great people who show up to work, who wanna grow, who wanna build businesses. It's just that inevitably something's going to break. Inevitably, there's some problem that I'm gonna have to come up against. So there is always that negative mindset as an entrepreneur that's just in the back of your head because you've been gun shy from all the things you're doing. But again, I digress. Going back to what you asked, there will be times where you give everything. There will be times where you sleep, where you don't sleep, you stay up late, you do everything you can. You put all your money into a project and it completely fails, or the people who were there, they don't appreciate it. They don't care. They walk away. They leave. And it will happen time and time and time and time again, but it's not something that you should just say, "Well, it happened once. It happened 10 times. It happened 100 times." You should just continue to go because that is going to be part of the price that you pay for becoming great.
Yeah, it's not a formula.
Not at
It's
all.
not like a math problem. Like you gave 2, you're gonna get 2.
Yep.
Doesn't work like that. Where do you feel like the line is though? Like when you give and give and give to somebody and then like, okay, now I have to cut my losses. Like, there has to be a time or times where you're like, okay, this is the boundary. This is
Yeah.
the end of that.
Yeah. I think every situation's a bit different when it comes to that. There are people that you're going to inevitably be really loyal to because they were there building the business with you or have been there for a long period of time and have been able to pour into your staff and your team and your business. So those people you're probably going to let slide a little bit more. Those people you're probably going to give or pour into them a little bit longer before you let them go. And so I've had cases where I've done that and poured into somebody and they haven't had a reciprocity or been thankful for that or appreciative or pushed hard for years. Now I don't recommend that because that's a lesson that I had to learn where those people after years of not changing are never going to change. You can hand them all the lessons in the world and they'll never change. They'll continue to stay the same type of person. On the opposite side of that, those people who are just joining your company or just joining your crew, you should be much, much quicker to let those people go, to realize this person is not going to be appreciative of our time, of our efforts, anything that we're doing.
Mm.
And so with those people, really it's a 1 to 3 strikes rule. If they're not partners already, if they're not teammates already, they're vendors and we're just talking about different things, they get a 1 strike rule. If they say something weird or off or not in line with the vision, direction, etc., I want to go, the relationship is done. It does not make sense to move forward. That's the one and done. When it comes to staff members and employees, it's a skill versus will. Now, do they have the skill to do it? And then do they have the will to do it? A lot of times they'll have the skill and they won't have the will, meaning they just don't want to get it done, which is very, I say a lot of times, I would say actually that's the rarity. They have the skill and they don't want to get it done. A lot of people will have the will. They want to get it done and they have zero skill. And no matter what you do, they won't bring their skill up. Again, those are people you got to let go. Good people, just let them go.
Mm.
And a lot of times they don't have either skill or the will. And then you just made a bad hire and you just got to let them go. But it's not like walking up to a vending machine and knowing if I press A4, whatever's in A4 is going to come out every single time. It's not like B2 or D7 is going to spit something out if I clicked A4 every time. It's not the same with your staff. Your staff is going to be completely different. It's going to be walking up to that vending machine and pressing A4 and knowing that every single time something else besides A4 is going to come at you. And maybe every once in a while whatever's in A4 will come at you, but that's what it's like. You never know what problem they're going to have, what issue is going to come up. So or what you're going to get in return from that person or from that place until you actually experience it and you do it. And once a person has shown you who they are, I believe one time, the likelihood that they're going to be that person forever is pretty damn high. People, I hate to say it, but for the most part, I would say people don't change. They don't. They might improve a little bit. They might get better in this or that. It's very rare that a person absolutely changes who they are and who they've shown you to be. It's extremely, extremely rare. So, ladies, gentlemen, if you're thinking, oh, he's different now,
Mm.
she's different, I could change like she changed. No, they probably didn't. There's some honeymoon phase there, and that's in a relationship. But when it comes to your business as well, a lot of times, if somebody's doing something that is not integrous and you catch them, the chances of them doing that again is probably pretty high because in the first place, they thought that was okay. In the first place, they said, okay, maybe he won't catch me or she won't catch me. Uh, It's going to happen again, period. And so in business and in life, you're playing the long game. Your trust, your character has to compound. It has to improve over time. It has to get better over time. And that's always going to be the case because if you do something during that process that goes against that goes against the karma, that goes against the rule of reciprocity, people are going to see that right away. And that one time could lose their interest. It's like we talk about in our business with the pharmacies. People are going to come and deal with us one time. And that might be a few orders, it might be a big group of orders. But if we don't provide them the best customer service, the quickest turnaround times, that first time or that one time, they might have a sour taste in their mouth forever and never want to use us again.
Mm.
They might walk out that door and say, don't use that company. And it's going to take everything for you to try and get that client back, number one. And number two, you may never get that client back. The only chance you possibly have at that point could be a referral or somebody else telling them, no, you should really give them another chance. And that's again that why relationships always the friends are like, give them another chance or whatever, give her another chance sort of thing. That's why you always go to the friends if you want to get back together with people because they'll give your dumbass another chance. But it's the same with business. It's like if somebody else, if I had a terrible experience with a person and somebody I respected in business was like, no, honestly, dude, I've used that person for like 10 years. I guarantee that what happened was just like it was literally like a one-off fuck up. Like go back to them and talk to them, then most of the time I'll go back and it'll be again some sort of misunderstanding or whatever. But I had to rely on somebody else, somebody else's good graces, somebody else's karma, somebody else's rule of reciprocity to get me back into the circle of trust. It's like a circle.
It is a circle. Uh, I agree with you that it's rare that people change. I've been involved in personal development for over 15 years, and I'm surrounded by, in this particular network, people that are excited to change. They're looking for their beliefs. They're like that are hindering them. They're looking for ways that they can improve who they are and how they're showing up in the world. And course after course after course, the same shit comes up for all of us. Like, and those are people that are like really pushing to change. And it's still oftentimes years before you fully integrate something and can change like the way you see it, the way you feel about it, or even like your response in the world to something. So, uh, yeah, so I really understand and agree with you on that point. Have you ever been surprised though at somebody maybe that didn't seem grateful with all that you were giving that later on like turned around and was like, you've made such a difference in my life and I'm so grateful or like, you know, recognizes all that you did do for them?
Not directly. Honestly, I wish I had more stories like that, but indirectly, I've had people that it's not that they weren't grateful, it's just I didn't know that I was helping them or whatever. That again, there are those business owners that say, I've fired somebody or I've let somebody go, and that person has come back and said, "That was a wake up call for me, and I'm doing so much better now. Thank you so much." No, I haven't had the joy of that experience. No, usually after we let somebody go, they hate me for the rest of their fucking life. So whatever.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I
we
can
did
say
get
I
a
haven't.
message after the one of the last, um, he just call it firing, but we did, like, after we let somebody go. Uh, I know you and I both got a message, whether all the execs did or not,
Right.
like, just a grateful, like, they didn't hate you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They
Thank you for
understood.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for everything. Very
Mhm.
blanket thank you,
Mhm.
but at least it
Yeah.
wasn't a, "I hate you, go die."
Right, exactly, exactly, which I also haven't gotten,
Well, that's
which is
good.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
Um, I then, the next key point around this topic that we should unpack a little bit more is give to give and not give to get. I'm not always good at this. I recently I mean, this is a great podcast topic right now because recently, as in like 2 days ago, I had a conversation with my son about this. All that I feel like I'm giving, and as a parent, I I'm not saying all parents do this. I, as a parent, overgive and like over support. And I think with Isaac, I've been very soft,
mm,
and he hasn't really had a male in his life pushing him to rise up, be a man, do these certain things for himself. He's got his, cushy
yeah,
hippie mom over
yes,
here,
cushy
like
hippie mom life. Yeah,
and so every once in a while I'm like, "Son, get this together." you know?
Get the fuck
And
out of my house.
I actually like him being there, interesting enough, because people are asked, like, "Where is he at?" And he lives with me, but he's very helpful around the house and things. But, yeah, that is something that we brought up. I brought up to him recently was just like,
So when are you moving out?
what are you doing to raise the bar for yourself?
Yep.
Because like, these things are not working, and I'm doing all of this stuff, but I'm not getting these things from you. So it's very interesting because it is like, I do give because I wanna give to him, but I also, at the same time, give because I wanna somehow support him to get to the next phase. So it's an interesting thing. I wonder there, like, am I giving to get? I don't know. I don't know, but I don't think I'm always good at this. And sometimes if I give and give and give and feel drained, uh, I blow up, or I not
Yeah.
blow up, but,
Well, I think parenting, just like running a business, are have their parallels when it comes to that. Yes, give freely of your time, and as a parent, there's a great YouTube video where a guy is interviewing for a job. Actually, he's an interviewer, and he's interviewing all these different types of people for this job, and it was a stunt that was done essentially, for this. I think it was a care.com or a baby formula company. I can't remember exactly what it was. But anyways, the interviewer is saying you have to work, days, then nights. You're good. The interview was saying you have to work days, then nights, then weekends. He was saying there's no time off. He was saying that you have to work on holidays. He was saying that there was no lunch breaks. You only had to eat when, like, the client allowed you to eat.
mm,
Sometimes you had to share your food with the client. Um, just 24/7. Like, in the middle of the night, if the client calls you, you have to get up and, like, be with the client at all hours. And all these people were like, "Oh, that job's horrible. Who would ever sign up for that?" And he's like, "Millions of people do every year." And they're like, "Who is it?" And they're like, and he's like, "Moms." And so it was like a Mother's Day ad that they put out, and I thought that was so well written and well done.
Funny you said, because last night while Ellie and I are eating together, I have a video of this. She took every piece of broccoli off my plate and put it on hers, and then started to grab my sweet potatoes, and I was like, "Kid, I gotta have some dinner
Yeah,
here."
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, so
That's really weird.
definitely
That's
sharing
that's
food.
really weird that she
Sh
ate all the broccoli.
she loves broccoli. Yeah.
Yeah. So that being said, parents, they give, they give, they give, they give. And I think to a degree, all I expect now with my kids is just don't fucking fight and bite each other. That's what they're at this level. Don't fight and don't bite each other. And then as they get older, when I was in between my kid's age and Isaac's age, that 9 to 14 or 15, it was you I give and give so that I wanna make sure that you realize that you don't have to pay for, you don't have to go get a job to pay for the necessities in life. Your job is school. So, my job was school. My job was sports, and they paid for everything on the back side, so that was the rule of reciprocity. And I think when you get older, there has to be some sort of push like you're talking about, just with your staff. Your staff are adults as well. Unless you work in a Chinese sweatshop, which stop doing that. That's not what this is about. Going back to it, your staff are adults as well. And the rule of reciprocity is I'm going to give you money to do your job. And you got to do your job well. And if you do your job really well, guess what? I'm going to give you more money. Or a title or stock options or whatever. That's the reality of being an adult. So the rule of reciprocity is literally built into your job every single day. It's built into you as a leader every single day. So, yes, you can have the rule of reciprocity where give to give and not to get. But as an owner, as a business owner, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, you are giving to get their work just inherently. So that's not really what we're talking about here. We're talking about essentially karma and doing good things for others. Manipulative generosity is a trap. Like if you're giving something because in the end you want something on the backside, guarantee you'll almost always be upset. You'll never get it back, and eventually you'll start to resent it. You'll resent that person, you'll resent who you're doing things for, and not for a great reason. The reason is because you expected something to happen and it didn't. You expected something unreasonable and it didn't. When you actually lead and when you actually pour into people with nothing expected in return, other than I hope this person is going to be better for this and they're going to learn and they're going to grow, then you start to stand out as a leader. You start to stand out as a person. And eventually, that trust is going to run into an opportunity to maybe hire that person into your company, which has happened multiple times with me. An opportunity to grow your staff, an opportunity for that person to talk about you behind your back in a good way to get other people into your circle, to introduce you to other business partners because it aligns with your because that ends up aligning with your identity. It aligns with your values. So the return that you get from that gets greater and greater and greater. It starts to compound itself. It never lowers at that point.
Yeah, it just comes back in different ways sometimes.
Right.
You're super generous. You have, like, a really big heart.
No,
How do you balance
she's only talking about my heart, I guess.
the generosity with boundaries?
Oh, that's super difficult because you will inevitably not have boundaries at the beginning, and you might not even have boundaries as you grow. The only boundary that I would put on generosity or your time is if it starts to affect your home life or the people that you live with or that you really care about very close to you. And you'll really care about everybody. That's just part of it. But if it affects the people that live with you, if it affects the people that are taking chances on you in your family, then that's when I would start to say, pull back. For example, as we've grown, Steph and I have given more to charity. Uh, we help people in our business. We help whoever we can to pay extra payroll, stuff like that, whatever we can. And we've always, at the beginning, she was always worried about like, hey, we got to take care of ourselves first. We got to take care, which is right. We do. And not ourselves first in terms of like we were going and buying shit. It was ourselves first in terms of groceries, making sure the kids were okay, making sure if we're gone in some sort of freak accident, the kids are going to be taken care of money wise and they don't have to worry about it until they get older.
Super
So
important.
all those things were things that she was worried about and that I was worried about to a degree as well. But what most people don't understand is that when you do give and you really have good intentions, it comes back tenfold. I mean, the karma of the universe in general does come back tenfold. It takes time. It's not gonna be tomorrow. It's not like you're gonna do this and then money tree's gonna pop out of the fucking ground in your backyard and you're gonna be a multi-billionaire. It does not work like that, but it does help to always overgive. And after a while, again, maybe at the beginning I was giving to gaining, giving to getting, but after a while now, any dollar amount that I give to somebody or support with, or any new business that I invest in, or anything that goes out from my bank accounts, out from the house, out from time and effort, in the end, expect nothing back. I don't expect shit anymore. Even literally from my business partners, from my teammates, employees, I don't expect shit back. I don't expect them to do what I tell them to do. I don't expect them to respond favorably. I don't expect them to give anything back or even say thank you. I don't expect any of that anymore. Not because, again, they're bad people, but because in the past, when I've expected something back, it's always let me down and soured what I'm doing in the first place. Now, if I do it, I just think, I'm never gonna see this money again. I'm never gonna get this paid back. I'm never going to get the respect from this person that I give them. I'm never gonna get X, Y, and Z. And that isn't a negative way to think about it. It's freeing because then you're never upset on the backside because you expected something in return.
Mm.
You're never upset. It's just like, well, I didn't expect anything. Why would I be upset? How could I be upset?
It's, like unattachment. Like, you're not attached to what happens next, which does sound very freeing.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, to move through life unattached. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like,
That's why you should leave Sean and Ellie at home and just do your thing. Just leave. Just never come back. Unattached.
definitely
Yeah,
not
I took
that
a
kind of
turn. It's like,
unattached.
Manna May hasn't been back on the podcast in months after the last podcast we
Where's she
recorded.
at?
She decided to just leave her family.
Uh,
She's just doing her own thing
Singing
unattached.
Kumbaya
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
top of the,
Yeah, with your crystal.
Machu Picchu.
Yeah, yeah. Butt naked, painted with mud.
Oh
All right,
boy.
here we
Well,
go.
um,
Well, you've given a lot of your time and effort as well when it comes to just anything, your job, your life, other people. Where have you found that uh, where have you improved your thoughts around giving in terms of maybe in the past you were giving for this reason or that reason, and now you're giving from a better mindset, a better heart, a better place? What's been the difference in that?
well, one
Or
thing
are you still just giving to get everything?
no, one thing I know for sure is that when those feelings come up for me, I assess, I'm doing this, I give this or I do this for this person. I show up this way because it's who I am.
Mhm.
So if I were to alter how I'm showing up because I don't like maybe what I'm getting back, then I'm allowing someone else to dictate who I am. And that's not being source of who I am. That to me would be acting out of integrity with myself, which then later creates a bigger mess that I have to try to clean up with my own soul. And so, there are times I've had thoughts like I'm giving, 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 and what's this all for? And uh yeah, I just think this is just who I am. Like this is how I want to move in life. So I may alter certain things. There might be things that I look at like, am I giving and does that really matter to that person? Am I giving because that's how I would want to get something? Like in relationship, it's super good, right? Like we all have love languages and I could, be giving from my own love language, wanting that in return. So I like words of affirmation. I like acts of service. Certainly, the busier I've gotten, I like acts of service because it just makes my life feel a little bit easier.
Mhm.
Um, but I might do things for Sean, and those things don't matter to him because he doesn't want me to do anything for him. So he's not like, and we may have discussions where I'm like, "But I did da da da," and I'm listing all these things I did, and he's like, "I never asked you to do all of that." Like,
I don't care.
yeah, pretty much, right? Because that's not how he receives love. And so I've had to assess, like, okay, but am I giving in that way because that's how I want to be given to? So recognizing too, is it the way the person receives the best type of love or care or gift? And so that's been an interesting thing for me to pay attention to, certainly in my more immediate personal relationships. Um, but yeah, recognizing that showing up as me is the most authentic, beautiful place for me to operate from. And what resulting condition comes from that, um, it, like you said, will maybe just come back in other ways. There are definitely times I've needed things that I haven't necessarily gotten, but like in maybe my immediate relationships, but then it will come from someone else. And I'm like, this is crazy. I've had conversations with girlfriends like, this didn't happen over here, but this one person didn't do the thing that I would love, but I had these 3 people out here end up all doing this thing for me that I love. And so, like, it's wild how it works, but that's probably the thing that I've learned the most is that, well, 2 things. Pay attention to how somebody else wants to receive gifts or love or, you know, generosity. Um 'Cause does it really mean the same to them as it does to you? Openly communicating too, like, when I get something, what's the best way to give it to me? What does that look like so people know? Because wanna set people up for success.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, and then recognizing that, how I feel authentic in showing up with generosity, knowing that it just might come from somebody else, but if I'm showing up authentic, then I'm just naturally going to attract what it is that I need in life too.
Absolutely. And it doesn't have to be like us. It doesn't have to be that you can continue to be generous and generous and generous and overgive and always be that way. You can be generous and you can have boundaries. You can build those boundaries. And this is where I've had the problem in the past. This is where I continue to have problems. They think being nice or being kind is saying yes to everyone. Like I've said in the past, I am kind, but I'm not nice. Like, yes, I'll try and support you in everything that you do. I'll try and be as generous as possible with my time and effort. But if as a result of that, you don't respect that, I don't get that reciprocity in being kind. I don't have that reciprocity in you showing up on time or doing a great job or being a great spouse or etc. You can go down the line and you can only take so much. There has to be some boundaries. There has to be give and take. That's what a relationship is. Any relationship, whether that's a business relationship, a professional relationship, a home, wife, life relationship, there has to be a give and take. It can't be give, 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 give all the time.
Yeah, do you think you can teach somebody or that somebody can learn how to give from a good place? Or do you think that just comes from, like, how you're born or how you're raised even? Like what you see your parents do?
Oh gosh, I think part of being generous and knowing that that comes back to you is I think that's part of that is inherently learned from your parents. I think if you don't again, we could take the extreme. If you're part of the Scientology or the Mormon church or even the Catholic church, 10% of your money goes towards the church, tithings. If you see your parents do that, you learn how to do that, you're going to do it. And again, I'm not dogging on religion. That's not good or bad or anything like that. It's literally what you learn from your parents. We talked about this before. Babies aren't racist. Babies don't like know danger or anything like that. Habits are caught, not taught. So I think part of being generous, part of giving is going to be from your parents. Part of that is going to be your culture. And then part of that is just going to be as you get older, like what that's given you in return. And speaking with mentors on some of this stuff is important as well because in business, there are some business decisions where, yeah, I'd love to give, but you might want to give a whole bunch of the profits away, and then you're left with nothing to grow and help more people. And so you have to realize sometimes in business, giving is a volume play. Whether it's a dollar towards every sale to charity or a small percentage of every sale towards charity or anything like that, if you're going to have some giving in your business in general, you have to make sure that you calculate that in. Because if you say, well, 10% of every uh, sale goes towards charity, that's 10% off of net profit. And most companies are net profit, you know, sub 20%. There's very rare to have above 20 to 30, and then above 30 is even more rare when it comes to businesses, most businesses nowadays. And so if you're giving 10% of your sales, that's more than 10% off the net profits. I mean, you could be cutting your legs out from underneath you.
Yeah.
You could be doubling the amount of time and effort that it's gonna take for you to grow a significant business. And charity's good. Not saying it's negative, but at the same time, you have to have boundaries where you give. You learn those processes from other business owners that are like, "Okay, well, that's a good idea, but this is what's gonna happen if you do that." Because they have the insight and they have the know-how.
Yeah. Uh, Understanding the impact of the giving is twofold. Like, is it actually helpful for me to do this with this person? Because like you were saying before, if you have employee that you're giving and giving and giving to, is it helpful? Is it enabling them to continue to not rise up, not work harder, not learn on their own, or is it helpful in certain ways? And I think that's an important aspect too, is like just recognizing the impact of the gift, and that the gift sometimes doesn't necessarily mean that it's always a good thing. So it's like recognizing, I don't know, I guess with like my son, going back to that. Am I enabling behavior that is ultimately not going to help him in the future? And then that's not a gift that helps him or I. Um so recognizing maybe I give something in a different way. But do you have like any sort of, how do you feel about energy? This is a such an Amanda
Here
question.
we go, here's an Amanda
Uh,
question. Here we go, talking about the world and the earth and the
Law
rocks
of
aligning.
attraction and
Yep,
all of that.
okay.
Because there is something really powerful about the coming and going of everything in life. Like,
Mhm, mhm.
constant movement and the energy that's involved in the movement of things, and that's why I think of people that don't have, well, actually, there's some people that have a lot and still have a scarcity mentality, um where they're holding on to everything so tight, and it's like when you do that, you aren't open to receive either. Plus, this feels like it would be a really shitty place to live because you're constantly tense. Like, I think of, like, holding, a hug or, like, holding on to something tight, like a grip, like, that's a lot of tension, constant tension. So, like, feeling the freedom that comes with the giving, there's a coming that comes with the going. So it's like this natural flow of energy. Have you felt that energy in your own life? And do you feel like maybe because you are so generous that that has opened you up to receive so much more in the things that you're doing?
Yeah, I think you're just talking about karma with fancy words. That's like sounds like karma with extra steps. But no, yeah, what you're essentially describing is what I've talked about a little bit before is the more you get, the more you put out in the universe, the more good you put out in the universe, the more you're gonna get back. The more good and bad you're gonna get back. Just the more you're gonna get in general back. And as I have grown in business, one of the things that I didn't realize is the extra cars that you buy and the watches that you buy and all the cool stuff that you wanted to buy for yourself that you eventually get if you work hard enough. They're really cool for like a week and then like a few hours. And you still live this awesome life and you still go again, I drive the exotics every day and I have cool watches and I've got a nice house, but it starts to mean a lot less. When I gave my dad, his dream car, the 1965 Shelby Cobra, like, that was the pinnacle of gifts I could have given to somebody. And since then, I've been kinda, like, lost. It's like, what other gifts do people want that I can help them achieve? What are the other things that I could buy for people? Because it's like, that point, you're just kinda like, "Well, fuck, this is it? I could just buy more shit?" That doesn't seem useful. Like, how many other lives can I change with this? How much extra can I do with this? And that's what you start to realize is that it fulfills you way more buying something for someone else or doing something for someone else that's going to completely change their life that might be minuscule to me. It might be very small to me, but it's going to completely change their lives. And it's really great to be able to do that for others. Really great to be able to achieve that for others. And you still have to go out and kick ass in business and make money to be able to do that. And if you kick ass and do well at business at a higher level, then you can do all that stuff at a higher level. And that's what people don't understand as well. Like, the more you make, the more you can help people. There's all these providers growing up that I went to school with and everything that, volunteer their time in multiple different countries, and I did as well with AmRef in Africa, and that was great. I could see a few hundred people, well, in a week, and all these people that didn't get treated or couldn't get treated, and it felt really good to do that, but in the same breath, I could help 10 times as many people if I work really hard, make a ton of money, and then build a hospital out there and then fill it with doctors or fill it with people who can go out there and visit every single week and take care of those people and build a medical system and a healthcare system there. So that's what you start to realize is, yeah, that giving, the more you give, the more you get. The more you give, the more you push that stuff out the door into the world, the more you're getting back. For sure.
That's a beautiful visual, is being the one on the ground doing the work or being the one that builds the place for all the people on the ground doing the work. You think about all the lives that have been changed from the businesses that you have too. I mean, you've got a ripple effect that's happening that's massive. You've got employees where their families are being changed, kids are being taken care of, like lifestyles are being changed. And then you add in all of the clients' lives that are being changed. Thousands and thousands of clients a month our practices are seeing. And that's just within Genesis. So, you know, and then with the pharmacies, the medications that are going out, those things are changing people's lives, and so the businesses that you've built really are impacting so many people, and that's the power of having a big heart and being generous and absolutely in return being able to be financially successful from that. I think that's a great recipe, but like we've been talking about, it's just not set up where you give in one way and you get back in another way. Like you just give from an open, loving, genuine place and you will receive. Like all of your needs will be met based on, how much you're open to doing for others too.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%.
So, how do you well, let's see. I think the final thing that we really need to touch on is not letting one-sided relationships harden your heart from doing what you believe is your amount of generosity. And if you haven't got the reciprocity that you want in one way, not letting that thing or situation or person change who you are and harden your desire to be the person that's generous. And that's kind of what I was, saying I'm not not always good at. Um Because it does sometimes I question, like, "Why am I doing this?" But it's, like, constantly going and check with myself, like, "What wait, I'm doing this because I want to do this, because it's the type of person I am, who I wanna be in the world." But how do you make sure have you ever struggled with that? And then how do you make sure for yourself that you keep your heart open?
Yeah, just because one person fucks you doesn't mean everybody's gonna fuck you. Like literally, both figuratively and literally, I guess in that case, if you think about it. When you put out good in the world to everybody or at least have the best intentions in everything that you do, there are inevitably going to be people that have the worst intentions or don't have the same heart as you do, and you're gonna get hurt. And that's okay. That's part of life, that's part of business, that's part of doing your job, that's part of growing, that's part of contributing to society, that's part of personally growing, is that you gotta go through some pain in your life in order to grow. And the world is absolutely desperate for people who will operate in this way, who will operate on principle, who will operate on giving without having to gain and putting boundaries in place that's respectful. But again, doing everything they can from their heart and not being petty about every little fucking thing because that's the world nowadays. Everybody's petty, everybody's bickering back and forth. You got world leaders bickering back and forth, you got the news bickering back and forth. You got fucking people on Facebook and Instagram bickering back and forth. Everybody is just bickering.
Mm.
Nobody's just out there just trying to give as much as possible. And I get pulled into that too. For sure, I get pulled into that, going back and forth on Instagram or all that stuff. I'm not saying become super soft and lose your edge. Keep your edge, but at least keep your heart open. That's the balance between the two sides, between the two, you know, right and left, is that you should do as much as you can to be, you should do as much as you can for your intentions to be as good as possible. Nothing nefarious, nothing that you need in terms of tit for tat. Just, I'm trying to do good in the world. I'm going to try and push this out there. And you're going to get a lot of good back, but you're going to get some bad back. Don't let that harden your heart forever. Don't, just like you wouldn't let one bad boyfriend or girlfriend ruin your entire life. At some point, you'd probably get over them and move on. We've probably all had that relationship. It's always been there. Don't let it stop you from the next great thing that could happen to you because you're closed off from it.
So good. Uh, I think that's it for today's podcast. If you love this, or don't, I guess. But if you love this, leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening to it. Hit that, 5-star button. Let us know where this can be impactful in your own life, what other topics you want to hear about. We want to hear from you. Engage with us. Let us know you're listening and how we have made an impact in your life and how this podcast is helping you. And if you want more information about all that Dr. Alex is doing, visit dralexspinoso.com. He's got free courses on there, a ton of stuff you can check out. So if you're running a medical business, so we didn't talk from like necessarily the medical business perspective in this particular podcast. If you're running a medical business, and you want more information about how to do that, how to scale, how to grow, things that you can implement, KPIs, all that good stuff, check out dralexspinoso.com/courses, or is it free courses?
This courses.
Courses.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's also moved on to our Circle app, which is where our community is for charismatics.
Awesome. Yeah, that was another plug I was gonna give is, Charismatics, an incredible mastermind where you can align with like-minded individuals, all moving the same direction, all looking at how they can be more generous, create more impact, and build, business together. Check out joincharismatics.com for that.
All right, guys. Thank you. See you next time.